to ask question 22/2021. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir. The question is directed to the Attorney General and Minister for Economy, Civil Service and Communications. And the question is, can the Minister inform Parliament of government's plans with respect to the 60,000 Fiji National Provident Fund members with zero balance in their accounts? Thank you, sir.
I now call on the Honourable Attorney General and the Minister for Economy, Civil Service and Communications, the Honourable Ayaz Syed Gayoom. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'd like to thank the member for his question. Mr. Speaker, sir, the issue of zero balance is not something new, of course, and this relates to members whose accounts are active. Mr. Speaker, sir, in 2002, the FNPF reported that 56,028 members had zero balances. This figure is a total sum of those with zero balances inherited over the years since the fund began operations in 1966. This is also not only unique to FNPF, it is a common problem seen across many superannuation funds around the world and indeed the region. Mr. Speaker, sir, even of course commercial banks deal with this too. Mr. Speaker, sir, the number of members with zero balance currently stands at 59,751, 6.6 more than what was reported in 2002. To put this into context, Mr. Speaker, sir, there are generally two main reasons behind the zero balance, and we're talking about people who are actively working. Firstly, the bulk of 76 of these accounts are due to inconsistent contributions, where members make perhaps only one or few contributions, then leave the formal workforce. Sometimes, their employers would ask them to get an FNPF number. They may work for them for 1 year and then they leave. Again, Mr. Speaker, sir, all members of FNPF are covered for the special death benefit, where $35 is deducted annually for $8,500 death benefit cover. Over time, of course, if somebody's only made contributions of, say, $100 or $200, with the deduction of that, then the amount will get depleted. Mr. Speaker, sir, the second reason, the balance of 24% of those with zero accounts were members that registered and have made absolutely no contributions towards their accounts. So, for example, you have sometimes voluntary members. Somebody may come along as a volunteer and may say, I want to open up an account. They start up with, say, $50, and then they don't come back again. And we've seen that happen. In terms of the age, 40% of 23,136 with zero balance accounts are over 55 years old. Also, Mr. Speaker, sir, about 18,000 members of the 59,571 members have had no transactions in their accounts for over 10 years or more. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a high probability that some members are no longer in employment, may have migrated, or some could have potentially died and the records have not been kept up to date. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is also important to note that the FNPF only closes a member's account when he or she comes forward to fully withdraw from the fund. In light of this, Mr. Speaker, sir, the FNPF board is currently looking at related policy intervention to address the issue of zero balance, and will explore options that will allow the fund to, firstly, terminate membership of those aged 55 years and have zero balance accounts, as there is a high probability that these members are no longer in employment. 2, terminate membership for those with no transaction over 10 years for those below 55 years. 3, deactivate accounts for those with no transactions for more than 5 years. Cancel membership if no contribution is received after a lapse of 12 months from the membership startup date. Review minimum deposit amount for those wishing to open a new FNPF account. And members who have registered and have not made any contributions will be contacted and advised on the importance of contributing to their accounts and encouraged to make regular contributions, even if it is a few dollars. It will also add to the savings and earn interest. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
I thank the Honourable Minister. Honourable Lever, you have the floor.
Just thank you, Honourable Minister, for the response. Just a question to the Honourable Minister. Are there plans to invest internationally in order to boost this members' contribution? Are there any plans with the fund to boost the members' contribution? Offshore investment.
Oh, so the question is FNPF investing offshore?
Yes.
Yeah, they have some accounts offshore already at the moment. Yes, they do.
To assist the members.
Sorry?
No, to assist the members, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So, sorry, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think the question is those members who are offshore and have zero balances.
Could you repeat your question so we can be all clear?
Mr. Speaker, sir. No, the question is, are there plans in place by the Fiji National Provident Fund to assist those members with the contribution by investing internationally, like offshore, to boost their contributions?
FNPF does invest offshore.
That's probably the line of question that has been.
I didn't get it.
Whether the government will explore options to increase the balances of those that are currently with zero balances.
Honourable Member, just ask your supplementary question. Forget it.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
He's expecting.
A supplementary question to the Honourable Minister. You've mentioned about the existence of these zero balances. Are you looking at any timeline on when you attend to sort of clean up the system in terms of accounts, sort of ghost membership?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we would like to exercise the ghost from FNPF completely. And this is part of the process, Mr. Speaker, sir. As I highlighted, the FNPF management is looking at cleaning up the system. In particular, those people, they said as a general trend, a lot of people open up accounts. A lot of people, for example, who go into their own business. So in the beginning, they think it's a good idea. I'll set aside, my 8% or 10%, and I'll contribute as my savings. But as they start their business, they think, well, I better not do it. I can still save it on the side. So a lot of people do that. They start up their accounts and they don't continue. So those accounts have actually continued. And FNPF obviously needs to clean that up, in particular to also ensure that the books are truly reflective of the active members.
Thank you. We'll move on to the fourth oral question for today. And I call on the Honourable George Ranganathan